Okay, so what happened was it was removed,
Right.
and within a week, these people put out a call to publishers to get to their legislatures, and bam, it's back in the bill. So that's really, really good news. We went on a teeter-totter this past week. The fact that it's back in play is huge because it happened in a week, less than a week, 6 days. This went from being a non-item to being back in focus.
Right.
So that tells me that it's got a really good chance of passing, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So we covered it a while ago. Some like payroll credits and stuff like that. I forget what the details are.
Credits to publishers to pay their journalists, credits to advertisers, and credits to subscribers that they don't even have to itemize on their taxes. It's just an automatic thing.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so excited about it. It's really a boost for local newsrooms, especially the small community newspapers. This is going to be a saver.
Congrats to America's newspapers. And like I said, I really think that NNA and a lot of the state associations were probably pulling their own weight on this too. Because who else is going to organize people? And they're kind of like us on the way we cover news tech. They're covering the postal changes and kind of more traditional journalist related industry. Yeah, this is super valuable. Congrats.
If you ever question the value of your newspaper association, here's proof right here. The associations work for the publishers, what we trust them to do, and they're doing it.
Exactly. While we're on it here, let's see. This is going to be a fun thing. Speaking of the value that they provide and the service that they're bringing to the industry, it's this webinar series. America's Newspapers is associated with it, the online media campus. It's almost every week that they're offering these. And we've been invited once again to do another presentation. So we'll be talking about some specific case studies from Indiana, the Hoosier papers that we launched, some of the lessons there on, those were digital news deserts, but they had a Facebook presence, no website. And then launching this website, it was just so interesting. In the first week or so, there was just no traffic. It doesn't just automatically happen. Even actively promoting it in the print edition, it's going to get a few really interested people to type in that URL. Probably want to use a QR code for print. But the point here is that you really need to establish the channels to the main drivers of traffic on the internet, which is Google and Facebook. That's the quickest way to get your site up and running. You can grow it organically by just promoting it in the print edition or something like that. But
they basically went from no presence to the presence.
Zero to the presence in town. Right. This website now that they control and they own the traffic on, it's not Facebook, which is just a total dead end for you as a publisher. In terms of the relationship with the reader, they're just consuming your content. There's no giving back, there's no even giving back of their information. I think you can see like part of the list of who's following you, but you can't really, directly communicate with those people. You don't have emails. Facebook is going to protect all that. The only way to communicate with them is through Facebook. And that's what they had. They had a great resource, but they were totally dependent on Facebook. 20,000 followers, which is incredible for a weekly. And they got there by posting tons of content as image galleries, hundreds of photos for one event they'll post up there. So people would engage with the content. But now we're teaching them, you need to put that as a image gallery on the website, put a few photos on Facebook.
We had to change their focus from paying Facebook to paying themselves. I mean, they were basically giving Facebook a paycheck with the loss in ad revenue and subscriptions.
Sure, there's a loss there. And as we talk about all the time, is becoming more an issue internationally. There's a clear benefit that Facebook has. They're making money off of our content, even just the users, but certainly the high producers like the publishers out there. So they're making money off of you. So just use them is the point. Don't let them use you. Turn the tide, use them to direct traffic to the website. And we'll also just talk about the basics of getting indexed in Google, getting on Google News, keeping readers engaged on the website longer, all things to bring yourself back. Because Facebook has filled in the gap. It's just kind of been the default. And if there is no newspaper there, that's where people will go. There's a little bit of next door activity too, but it's primarily been Facebook. So that's not a bad thing though. As you can see, you can recover from it. And most newspapers have a company page at this point with a couple thousand subscribers. That's a great place to start.
I think you used the analogy of cattle towns getting their cattle to the railway, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that was right. It's like
the railway
connecting to the railroad. It's essentially the same thing. It's the analogy that Cecile gave us on her story. If they cut you off for any reason, that's like the whole censorship thing. You're SOL. I mean, there's like nothing. You're in the wilderness. You're stuck out there on the Great Plains. No way home. Thanks for watching Today in News Tech, the podcast covering innovation in digital journalism. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast apps. We'll see you tomorrow.
At our hometown, we help newspapers build WordPress websites, design native apps, and develop digital subscription models. If you are interested in a free prototype of your publication on WordPress, go to ourhometown.com and click the Contact Us button.